details on polls from Tuesday's debate.
A lot of it is vibes. People vote on vibes.
Caplin News goes live in Washington, D.C. with its findings. A political watch party.
I believe she portrayed exactly what we're looking for in a commander-in-chief.
Reactions from Democrats on Kamala Harris' performance during the debate. Making landfall.
We saw water starting to come in from all different areas of the house.
Hurricane Francine storms over the Gulf states. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Dylan Pazay.
I am Denise Diaz, and today is Thursday, September 12, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Presidential polling this morning, voters shared their thoughts after a tense presidential debate. Today we have new insights on the impact of Tuesday's presidential debate on registered voters who watch.
According to a CNN poll, a majority of those surveyed say Kamala Harris outperformed Donald Trump. Caplin's Samantha Gutierrez spoke to voters on debate night and joins us live from Washington, D.C.
Political analysts say the vice president surpassed expectations, regaining the Democratic voters' trust after President Biden's poor debate performance earlier this year. On debate night, I spoke to voters whose post-debate opinions aligned with the polls. According to the CNN poll, 63% of viewers said Harris had a better performance on stage in Philadelphia. At this watch party at a local gathering place in the nation's capital, voters I spoke with agreed.
Kamala Harris for sure performed better in the debate. You could tell her preparation, how to deal with Donald Trump, to really get the worst performance out of him and to capitalize on that, like emotionally, she far outperformed him.
Tonight, it feels very, very clear that he was the crazy person on stage, and there was one sane person.
Former President Trump, there was a clear level of deflection, whereas Vice President Harris did give some snide kind of remarks back to former President Trump, but in that, she gave a very clear, actionable plan on what she was going to do.
The same poll showed that debate watchers were split on Harris. 45% said they viewed her favorably and 44% unfavorably. As for Trump, 39% rated him favorably and 51% unfavorably.
A lot of it is vibes. People vote on vibes, and the vibes are not with Trump right now.
Voters were divided over which candidate better understands the problems people like them are facing. 44% saying Harris does, and 40% picked Trump. But the poll also said that voters who tuned in gave Trump a 20-point advantage over Harris on handling the economy and a 23-point advantage on handling immigration. The poll showed that a majority said the debate did not affect their presidential decision. Harris already challenged Trump to another debate, but Trump said he was looking into it. He hasn't confirmed yet. Reporting for Caplin News from Washington, D.C., I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
Members of the Democratic Party gathered for a watch party on the debate. Caplin News reporter Alejandro Marquina brings us more on their reactions.
I'm here at 2186 Northwest with 87th Avenue in Doral, where Democratic Party members have gathered to watch the highly anticipated debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, a debate that could significantly impact this year's elections. A group of Democratic voters gathered to watch Tuesday's debate and were excited to see for the first time Vice President Kamala Harris arguing live television with former President Donald Trump. Guests were received with snacks, drinks, as well as flyers and posters containing Democratic candidates and information on their campaigns. We saw a lot of different reactions from the people, but the most significant one was their enthusiasm for Harris' performance during the debate.
Oh my God, it was incredible. It was incredible. She did not lose an opportunity. I believe she portrayed exactly what we're looking for in a commander-in-chief. She portrayed classy. She portrayed to be a woman of honor. I believe she portrayed me, my character, my color, my race. She portrayed everyone. She was not divisible. She was tuned. She was not all over the place. Her energy was subtle. I believe we got a great candidate.
There were others such as Marisol Centeno, candidate for Miami-Dade Office of Property Appraiser, who criticized Trump, calling him a liar.
I'm really enjoying that Kamala is really able to focus on calling out former President Trump on his lies, basically.
And as you can see, we saw a lot of enthusiasm here in the room, and with most of the people thinking that Vice President Kamala Harris performed in a better way than former President Donald Trump. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Alejandro Marquina.
And on the other side of town, young Republicans gather at the University of Miami to host their own watch party for the debate. Here's Caplin's David Lascano with more on their reactions.
Tonight, the presidential debate promises to be one of the most important exchanges for both political parties. A lot of people will be watching it from home, but a group of students from South Florida are gathered tonight at the University of Miami to demonstrate their interest in this year's elections.
There were problems, there were questions that I think went unanswered.
Time-consuming, repetitive, absolute total catastrophe.
The same question: how did you feel about the presidential debate? These students gather at the watch party to show that the opinion of the youth matters.
I think a lot of people have this impression that young people, college-age people in America are not aware of the political situation, that they don't care, that they're not paying attention. It's a big problem. But I do want the, politicians on both sides to be aware of the fact that we are listening, we are watching, and we are talking about your policies, your statements, and your promises.
Anti-Semitism in the United States and a plan to deal with the international conflicts in Gaza were the topics that the students were more concerned about in the event.
I would have liked a little bit more discourse on the Israel-Palestine topic. As a Jew living in America, I've been very much impacted.
Internationally, they didn't handle Ukraine properly. They haven't handled Israel properly. They didn't handle Afghanistan properly.
Students' expectations for this debate were not met, but this did not discourage them, and now they look forward to the future.
And we are the young generation, we're the incoming generation, and we will remember.
There's been an intense couple of rounds in this debate, and although some questions were left unanswered, we did see the compromise of these young students who are the new generation in charge of our future. Reporting for Caplin News, this is David Lascano.
This morning, many homeowners get their first look at the damage left behind after Hurricane Francine landfall. It made landfall as a Category 2 hurricane yesterday evening near New Orleans. The storm is the first hurricane to make landfall in Louisiana since 2021's Ida, and the third hurricane to make landfall in the United States this year. The New Orleans area is seeing more than a month's worth of rainfall from Francine, the storm leaving widespread power outages in its wake.
We even had our protective dam up, we even had the sandbags up.
And all of a sudden we saw water starting to come in from all different areas of the house.
Millions of people across several states are still under tropical storm warning today.
Inspectors at a Boar's Head plant are warning against major deficiencies 2 years prior to a deadly listeria outbreak caused by the recalled deli meat. USDA documents identified issues dating back to September of 2022 relating to the physical conditions at a plant near Richmond, Virginia, which included rusty equipment, flaking paint, and dripping condensation. The poor conditions could, quote, pose an imminent threat, and reports previously published by the USDA show 69 non-compliances between August of 2023 and just last month.
Across the country, a recent Mega Millions jackpot winner has yet to be found. The winning ticket was sold in Texas. However, a much bigger prize is still out there. But in March, someone in New Jersey bought a ticket worth $1.1 billion, but it has yet to be claimed. Winners in the Garden State have up to a year to claim their winnings. Any unclaimed jackpot rewards will be distributed across the states or put back into a lottery fund.
A recent study shows that more than half of the global population isn't consuming enough of the 7 crucial nutrients for human health. It found that more than 5 billion people do not consume enough iodine, vitamin E, or calcium, and more than 4 billion people aren't getting enough iron, riboflavin, folate, and vitamin C. A co-author to the report says that the nutritional gaps can compromise health outcomes and limit human potential on a global scale.
This morning, we recognize all video game lovers as today is National Video Game Day. Many gamers are enjoying what they play, including PlayStation, Xbox, and many others. As the industry continues to thrive with its high-definition graphics and smooth gameplay, video games remain beloved by countless of generations. So grab your controllers and get to gaming.
Coming up, the Marlins try to avoid a sweep in Pittsburgh.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Never expected Cappies to be gone.
A local landmark shuts their doors after 50 years. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
A small-town sandwich shop closes its doors, but locals aren't ready to say goodbye. A small-town sandwich shop near Orlando is closing for good in a few days' time.
Cappy's Subs has been in business for 5 decades. However, due to not being able to extend their lease, they will have to close their doors.
A small-town sandwich shop closes its doors, but locals aren't ready to say goodbye. A small-town sandwich shop near Orlando is closing for good in just a few days' time.
Cappy's Subs has been in business for 5 decades. However, due to not being able to extend their lease, they will have to close their doors.
So many familiar faces. This is like a neighborhood. This is just never expected Cappies to be gone.
I've been coming here since high school, and I used to know a couple girls that worked here way back then in the 80s, but I mean, it transcends all of us, really.
I'd wait 2-3 hours because Cappies means so much to myself and all the people at Maitland. I mean, you can see that out here right now that
this is
they've just been an iconic piece of Maitland.
The Cappies faithful from all over has been waiting in gigantic lines to try their subs just one more time.
The Marlins look to avoid the sweep against the Pirates, but Miami just couldn't conquer the Steel City. It was the Bailey Falter show as he had a no-hit bid into the 7th inning against the Fish. The Marlins scored 1 run in the 9th, but it wasn't enough to capitalize. The final score was Marlins 1, Pittsburgh 3. The Fish now head up to D.C. to begin their series with the Washington Nationals. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I am Denise Diaz.
And I'm Dylan Pizet. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.